Joining me is accomplished singer-songwriter Rachel Cruz. She's also an actor, and she's the founder of Fame Magazine. And she's here today to talk about her new single, Creeping Under My Skin. Welcome, Rachel.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Yes, I'm so excited to have you finally on the show, and congratulations on your new single, Creeping Under Your Skin, Under My Skin rather, because it's that's the title of it.
Yes.
Yeah, so tell us the about the song and what was the inspiration behind it?
I wrote that song based on personal experience about domestic abuse, actually. And what I wanted to do was be able to share the perspective of why um, victims tend to stay in the cycle of abuse, because it is actually a cycle and a process, which also means that it's a cycle and a process to get out of it. So I thought if I could use my music as a way of self expression for my personal healing, but also for a way to let other victims and survivors out there to know that they're not alone and what it looks like, and to be an advocate and a voice for them, then it would
Mm.
hopefully do a lot of good.
Yeah, so you are a survivor.
Hmm.
So tell us why now the song? Was it a pivotal moment for, getting the song out? I know October's domestic violence, right? Or,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, it is. Yes. So, why now? I guess because when I wrote it, I was ready. I was ready to, I had had enough, and I wanted to get my life back, or recreate it. And yeah, it was just the right time. I finally knew what I wanted to say and how I wanted to say it. And then I just needed to, so I did.
Yes. I mean, you have such strength, and for you to share your story in video, and I watched the video, it is just amazing. Um,
Thank you.
tell us the process in making the film, because they're all survivors, right?
Yes, they are. Yes. All the women in that video were survivors. Actually, most of the production crew were also survivors. Um, so it was a very emotional feeling on set that day. And fortunately, because most of us were survivors, there was a really strong support system. So even if someone got triggered on set, there were people there who knew and understood, and you knew you weren't alone, and you knew that the people there wouldn't judge, and wouldn't be confused about it, because we were all of a similar experience and mindset. So it was like a family, you know.
I mean, so in it's dance, right? It's her in black, and it's just it evokes emotion, it evokes community that we're, like you said, we're not alone. But
Hmm.
you are the messenger, the leader. You are bringing the song out, and so what has the feedback been like so far?
It's actually been amazing. It's been well accepted, and it's made quite an impact on so many people, which I was really happy. In fact, all of us, Sight and Sound Hawaii, which is the production crew and company that helped to make this a reality, the director, Fire Eye Richmond, we were all very, very excited about hearing these stories and testimonies of people who have been writing in about how they're taking a stand for themselves, and taking action where necessary, and however necessary for themselves, that they're starting their process of learning, I guess, educating themselves on what tools and resources are available for them, and utilizing them is the most important. And then starting their process of healing, which has been incredible. A lot of people have been writing in about their journeys as well, and how they broke free from it. So it's been pretty amazing and encouraging to see that it's having an impact, like a positive impact.
Yes, empowerment, right?
Yeah.
And tell us about the messages, like I see on your social media. It's,
Mhm.
speak up, um, and tell us the other messages as well.
Yes. Basically, it's an encouragement to say that you can have the courage to speak up and to get the help that you need, and you deserve it. And absolutely, especially in terms of like a physical domestic violence, any form of domestic violence as a whole, but especially the physical where your life is being threatened, that, there's really no time to waste or to wait anymore, that you need help now. And that was really what the message is. Also, it's a play on transparency for me, because I want to see victims get help, but I also want to see the victimizers get the help, because usually abusers are have been abused, you know, and it's a trained and conditioned state. So I would love to be able to see the root healed and dealt with, so that the family as a whole unit can be healthy and potentially reunited, if possible and if safe. So it's that, if someone doesn't say something, then the unit can't get help as a whole you know
Yes, and the video was made in Hawaii, right?
Mhm.
Because you're based,
Yes.
for our viewers, you're in Hawaii, and
Yes.
and it and the video is, as I said, evokes emotion. But was there a difficult part for you? Um,
Yes. I had to sing the words throughout the entire music video. I think singing it out in front of people made it a little bit more difficult, because I'm still in the process of my healing. So it was it was therapeutic in the sense that, when I speak it out, it's still in words. So I'm still accepting it as a reality and something that I need to heal and cope and deal with. But on the other hand, um, it can also come across sometimes, I think, as a little bit embarrassing, because it's out there, because people know what you've tolerated and put up with, and there can be a negative stigma on it. And also speaking it out loud and recognizing and having to accept it or confront it is also, uh, it brings the feels, so to speak.
yes, and you were saying like who else is involved in this? So there's it's directed by Farah Richmond, right? Is that
All right.
correct?
Yes.
Yes, and Brian Spicer as
Yes.
well, the
Right.
American owner of Sight and Sound Productions,
Yes.
correct?
Yes. That's him.
So, and also, is the charity involved as well?
Yes. Packed Hawaii. It's a parents and children together, so they are also very much involved. They are going to be we're going to be donating, a portion of the proceeds from everything that's generated through this two pact, that will go towards their domestic violence initiatives and programs, so that we can help more victims, more families, and more victimizers to get the right kind of help that they need you know
You know, someone's watching this interview and or leader, survivor, and but they're worried or scared to take that first step. Um,
hmm
and being a musician, you are a messenger, telling your story through the power of your words. And what would you give, information out or advice to a woman that is, you know, they're scared, even though they're listening to your video and they want to do it, but
so what kind of advice would I give them to help them to kind of break out of that cycle? I would say, nothing changes if nothing changes, and it is extremely scary to have to confront that. It's also scary to feel like you have to not tattle, but speak against the person that's victimizing you, which more often than not, it's someone that you love and care about, and it's someone, I'll take it a step further, that you love more than anyone else, and so that could be extremely difficult for anyone to have to live with and or deal with, and intimidating, because there's this overwhelming feeling of being alone. If this person or individuals, maybe it's more than one person, is all that then confronting it and turning them in or speaking against them could feel like a betrayal of trust, especially if you feel that overwhelming sense of loyalty. So I would say that, take your first step out of hell, because really it's going to be terrifying and it's going to be difficult and hard to to not have that person in your life, or maybe during the healing process where they might have to deal with the consequences of their actions. But if you think about, a few moments where it's going to be a heavy struggle versus an entire lifetime of living in that struggle, I think that would help to encourage that one at least has a light at the end of the tunnel.
Wonderful. And is there anything else you'd like to add, Rachel?
I'd say there are a lot of resources available for anyone who needs it. Don't hesitate to reach out or to ask people for help. I actually make myself very available for anyone who does need some kind of help. So if they want, they can reach me at rachelcruzmusic.com. They can reach me through there, or they can reach me directly at my email at rachelcruzmusic@gmail.com. And I can help to point them in the right direction, and also specifically with PACT to get the right resources that they need for themselves, their children, or their significant others, so that they can all start that process of healing. Because really, happier, healthy people is really all I hope to see.
Wonderful. And so what is next for you?
Actually, we are currently working on the next music video. It's in pre-production right now, which I'm really excited about. This Creeping Under My Skin is a series within an album. So the entire album is about empowerment, healing, and finding your worth, value, and being able to break free from toxicity. So yeah, I guess want to continue to spread awareness and advocacy for victims and their families who need the help. Doing my best to help to be a part of the change that I'd like to see in the world. And then, but we're currently in pre-production. I'm really excited about it. It should hopefully be filming sometime mid-November. And
This is great. I can't wait. I mean, and what about your acting as well? And you're the founder of the Fame magazine. So
oh yes. Well, acting, I still audition. I did do that Magnum PI, so that was pretty exciting. And the magazine, it actually was created to help other aspiring artists to get some publicity and excitement around what it is they're doing, or any of their accomplishments and achievements. So I'm definitely still doing that. Definitely always advocating for the arts, and the arts as a form of expression or storytelling, which is really important to me. Yeah.
That's wonderful. And you have other music like Ocean.
Like the ocean, yes.
Yes. So
that's more of an island vibe as opposed to my more heavier hitting style. That actually came out in January. I was really excited about it. It is also about empowerment. It just is to a different, in a different genre, to a different group of people, more islanders. But it's basically about embracing your strength and understanding that, like the ocean is kind of wild, carefree, and powerful, even though it's really beautiful, that, I see myself in that sense. And I'd like other people to see themselves that way, so that maybe people start to understand their worth and their value a little bit more, that you can be both feminine. For women, you can be both feminine and strong and powerful, and then for men in general, like there's a big stigma that thinks that men don't have emotions, or, men are incapable of feeling, which is absolutely untrue, so it's an encouragement to them to, that you don't have to allow society to place standards or put your own standards based on what you think society wants you to be, that you dictate who you are, and you get to determine that and figure that out for yourself. And then you get to be like, here I am, unfiltered, and this is it. This is everything that you can expect. So you can take it, you could leave it, but either way, I'm going to be okay.
Yes. And what do you want people to take away from your music?
I want them to feel ecstatic about being exactly who they are. And I want them to feel like to know that no one gets to dictate or determine who you are, what your worth is, you know, where what you can and can't do or accomplish in this life. If you had asked me a few years ago when I was stuck in my rut, I would have never told you that I'd be here doing all of this right now. It was only a dream, and to see it manifested in reality, it absolutely blows my mind. I want them to know that this is not a journey, not just music, but in general. You're healing, you're finding your power and your strength. It is not something that you do alone. You can, I don't care what anybody says. There's a lot of people who goes, well, I did it myself. And that's true. But if the resources weren't out there for you, you know, it's really difficult. You might be able to do it yourself, but it's going to take you a whole lot longer. You know, there are a lot of people out there who want to help, myself included, and want to see people succeed and prosper. So don't be afraid to take that first step, or to say, hey, you know what, I need help. There are going to be people, and if you get rejected or the door slammed in your face the first time, and I'm talking about, like, even if you go to someone, you say, hey, I need help, I'm in this situation, and that person's like, well, all you got to do is walk away, and if you can't, well, that's just because you're not, you know, you want to be in it. You know, that's also an untruth, and I don't want people to allow individuals like that, who might dull your light, to be the end all be all for your journey. There are, you go to the next person, and then you try again, and you keep trying, because there's going to be that tribe, as my friend calls it, who's going to come behind you. And my director said it best one day when I was feeling really low, and he's just like, listen, you know, when you think that people are against you, turn around, because then you'll see us. You have an entire army on your side. You know, and that was very powerful. And I remember that every time now that I come into some sort of issue or problem, or even if it's like a self-instilled memory that I'm trying to work through, I remember, if I just turn around, I have an entire army carrying me, you know, and ready to fight at my side. So it's that these individuals don't know it yet, but there's an entire army out here waiting to help you. You know.
You say it so well in your
Thank you.
testimonial. Thank you,
Thank
Rachel.
you.
I want you to come back on the show.
That'd be
So let's
amazing.
do it
I'd love
again.
that.
Yes, for sure. And I want to thank you very much. And check out your single, you know, your new
Yes.
single.
Yes. Thank you. It's available on all streaming platforms. So thank you so much, Christine. I really
Thank
appreciate
you.
this.